Well, here we are. It's Monday afternoon, and today we're going to talk about the success code. I mean, it means so much to me that I got it tattooed right here on my hand. Now, looking back and connecting the dots, what I realized was there were certain principles in methodologies that I went through on every new income stream that I built. So this is kind of how we got there. So think about when you were a new real estate agent, for those of you in real estate. When you went to get your first listing, what you did was you worked through the success code, meaning you had to have a skill set. And that skill set might have been just as simple as saying, what paperwork do I need? So let's go ahead and write that down. You've got skill set. Now, the first time through the success code, you have a limited level of skill set. You got to figure out which paperwork, where you need to get them signed, how to explain the paperwork. I mean, it's at a very rudimentary level. Now, from there, you get the skill set. You got to have time on task. It's kind of like going to the gym. When you first go to the gym, you're looking at all the machines and you're like, well, how do you use that one? In phase one of this success code, all you're doing is you're getting the skill set to use things. You're getting time on task, and you truly are experimenting, meaning you don't know what you don't know. And the whole goal is to get a victory. So let's just say listings. Our victory that we're looking for here is to be a master at listing. So we got to get the skill set, we get the time on task. And we're experimenting. And the reason we say it's experimenting is because you really don't know what you don't know. What we're doing is by experimenting, let's say that someone's dumb enough to actually give us a listing. And yes, knowing what you know now, you know that somebody shouldn't have trusted you with their listing when you first started. So you get a victory. Now, when you get that victory, what happens is you get under pressure. You're like, oh my gosh, they signed the listing. And then what happens is you get a little bit of confidence. Now, think about this right here. Until you have confidence with something, how good are you going to be at it? Not good at all. So what we're doing with the success code is we're working on our skill set. We're getting time on task. We're experimenting until we get that victory. Once we get that victory, we get confidence, then we repeat. Now, once we went out there and we realized that we didn't get some things signed, we're going to get the next level of skill set because we learn more by doing and getting into action than we ever do trying to get prepared for something because we have stress and pressure. And when you have stress and pressure, you learn at a faster pace. So now the second listing you go on, you get a different level of skill set. You've got more time on task. This is less experimenting, and now it's activities. Now, in phase one, what you're doing is you're most likely going to lose money or you're going to be less efficient at it. It's a new trade. So, for example, when I joined EXP, I spent 3 to 5 hours a week on it. And here's why. Even though I had the skill set of real estate, I had the skill set of leadership, I still had to get the skill sets of EXP. Now, what was nice was the skill sets around listings also transferred into EXP. And through time on task, eventually I experimented enough where I got a victory and I got confidence. It took me 18 months at EXP of skill set, time on task, experimenting until I got a victory. Once I got that victory, I went from 1 agent in June of 2017 to 95 agents in January 1st, 2018. Because once that confidence came, I had built up that foundation of the skill set. So now typically like real estate agents, they probably don't know their head from the hole in the ground until they've taken 12 listings. They've been selling real estate for at least a year because you need that feedback too. Meaning, for example, I don't get into real relationships until I've known them for at least a year. Why? Because you'll usually figure out crazy going through 4 seasons. So now phase one in any new thing that you're doing is typically going to take you a year. So for example, when I was a bold coach, my first year, I lost money. I mean, they sent me to Fargo, North Dakota for my first bold launch. And you can imagine what flights were there. In phase one, what you're doing is you're learning to earn. So Now, the second year is when you usually have a higher level of confidence when it comes to the skill set, time on task, and they're no longer experimentation, it's activities. This is where you start making some more money. Think about your second year in real estate. Your first year was just survival. Your second year was like, wow, now I'm starting to get this a little bit more. I'm getting a little bit more confidence. I'm now starting to prep the paperwork before I even go over. It's a next level of skill set. Then here's what happens. You get your first client, you get them the outcome, and this also works for your clients. Think about the first time you work with a client, you have a certain level of skill set with them. You get time on task. It's no longer experimenting because they've had a victory and they have confidence and they trust you. This is where phase 2 comes in. When a client actually refers you and says, hey, Johnny, I want you to work with Hank, gives a referral, you do a good job for them. Now, here's where things start to multiply. You got to work the skill set with that new client, time on task, activities to get their victory. This is where momentum comes in. If I've worked with a client, then they refer me a client and we have a victory and they gain confidence, that's where momentum comes. See, and this is usually in the third year because momentum only comes when you have other clients referring you and now they have confidence in referring you because they've gotten the web effect and the feedback to come back. See, everything that we're doing, we can talk about what do we need improvement here. If you're starting something new, start right here on skill set. So for example, when I decided that EXP was important to me, what I did was I got time on task on the skill set and I listened to every stinking YouTube video I could out there to hear all the different ways that it was being presented. So I worked on time on task and skill set, and I wanted to make sure that I knew more than 99% of the other agents at EXP. Now think about this. When you have questions thrown at you and you know the answer, you can answer with confidence. Most of the agents that come to EXP, they don't feel like the expert. They don't have the victories. Therefore, when they're asked questions, they puke all over them. And for those of you that have been puked all over about EXP, compare it to like a new agent. A new agent, they're doing the best job that they can. They show up at a listing presentation. They're all nervous and they're like, here's what we can do for you. And they're flipping through something. Now think about a level 3 listing agent. A level 3 or a phase 3 listing agent shows in with a yellow piece of paper. They're asking questions. They're really finding out what the problems are. And then they're presenting their listing presentation based on their problems. If they even do a listing presentation, heck, if you're the third time through with these clients, chances are you're doing a come list me and you have no listing presentation because they have confidence with you. So if you have questions, let me know. The reason I'm doing this video is we've hired a full-time videographer. And what they're doing is they're putting all of my stuff together so that we can have courses put together. And really, I'm doing this video live because they weren't fully understanding the success code. And what I realized is I need to keep practicing even explaining it. The other thing that we've done is we've hired a full-time client care specialist. So if you're in my EXP rev share line, know that our goal is to serve you at a higher level in 2021. So if you have any questions, let me know, reach out. If you are interested in a conversation about EXP, it's my #1 focus right now. Sarah and I have gotten the freedom through EXP that we've always desired as entrepreneurs. And now our goal is to impact as many people as we can to help find that freedom. So what we're doing is we're putting a lot of our stuff free on YouTube now. Information is a commodity. And what you end up paying for is proximity and relationship. Hope you all are doing well. If you're excited about some of this, it's kind of exciting. I have 2 full-time people working with me now. I've got some other people supporting what we're doing, and it's something that I've resisted yet going on in 5 years. It's time to go from entrepreneurial to purposeful. So if you enjoyed this, let me know. If you don't enjoy it, just let me know. I can do these videos just to my VA. Otherwise, I like doing them on here. That way we can kind of share in the love and you can see the process as we go. That's all I got. Hope you're doing well. And in case you're wondering, I think you're awesome. If you're like me, you struggled a little bit during 2020 and the transition. And yeah, so if you have failed like I have, just keep going. Keep doing better. And when you get it wrong, just do better. That's all I got. Goodbye.